You know, there's some losses that are just very, 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 very hard for teams to come back from. And if you lose that way in the beginning of the series, you are mentally fried for the rest of the series. Well, this loss that the Cleveland Cavaliers just took against the New York Knicks is definitely one of those losses, and their work is going to be cut out for them for the rest of the series. Allow me to explain. What's going on, guys? BoxInOne here, a basketball podcast and content creation platform created by Roischand and Joachim. Myself talking right now. 22-point lead. 7:49 to go in the fourth quarter. Donovan Mitchell is frying. Sam Merrill is frying. Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, they're eating. And then Jalen Brunson happens. 15 points in the fourth quarter. Landry Shamet, miracle bounce. The Knicks went on a 44-11 run at 7:49 in the fourth quarter to the end of overtime to close a 22-point deficit, send it to OT, and then win 104-115 in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals. First of all, Adam Silver, take a bow. Honestly, Adam Silver, take a bow for the fact that you had another overtime game in a conference finals where the score was 101-101. We had Mike Breen almost with a fake bang because the Sam Merrill three looked halfway down. Absolutely insane stuff. There's so much for this game to break down. But just first of all, the Cleveland Cavaliers, you've got a lot of work to do. I would not press the panic button on this series. Obviously, Kenny Atkinson, I'm not sure why you didn't make an adjustment. James Harden had 11 points hung on his head by Jalen Brunson, and you did not switch. I am so confused why you did not switch Harden off or send a blitz, because James Harden was out there twerking. He was out there getting exploited. Jalen Brunson said, I want that man on me. I know Brunson in the postgame interview said, I was just looking to score. Brother, you knew it was food. You knew it was James Harden cone time out there, and you knew exactly what to do. Beautiful execution from the former clutch player of the year. This is what he does. Not even a great game. 38 on 51% from the floor, but 51% primarily because James Harden was letting him get whatever he wanted. James Harden was letting Jalen Brunson get whatever he wanted. Lefty on lefty violence. Cat, again, as a playmaker, you continue to take that playmaking leap, leading the New York Knicks in assists so far in this playoffs, averaging almost 7 assists per game. There's credit to the New York Knicks just for the mental ability to stay in this game, down 22 at home in a game one, crowd getting silenced in the fourth quarter. A lot of teams would have said, we have game two, we hadn't played in a while, let's go back to the drawing board, let's not beat ourselves up over the fact that we hadn't played in multiple games. We're in the Eastern Conference Finals. We have 7 games. Nope. They said this game is our last game on earth. Obviously, it's not, but that's how they played, with the direness, the urgency, still the defensive activity. Mikal Bridges hit some clutch shots. OG Anunoby, some clutch takes to the paint on Evan Mobley, utilizing his body. Honestly, man, it's just a testament to the mental power of the New York Knicks. Not really too much else to say. Jalen, walk him down. Brunson did what he had to do. This is the best Knicks team we have seen in decades. Just their offensive firepower, their defense, their maturity, their ability to play with both of their guys now, Brunson and Cat, being one of the better and now premier duos in the Eastern Conference. Mike Brown making the coaching adjustment after that 2-1 lead the Atlanta Hawks went up on. So far, it's still crazy to me that the Atlanta Hawks with CJ McCollum and friends gave the New York Knicks their hardest test in the playoffs so far, taking them to 6 games. But Cleveland. I don't know what to say. The Cleveland Cavaliers are a team that their biggest issue has always been consistency. Even in the Darius Garland era, they would be world beaters. They would be competing with teams like the Thunder and winning, and then they'd lose in 5 games to the playoffs. Granted, 24-25, those playoffs have asterisks to me just because of the injuries, right? No Mobley, DeAndre Hunter, Garland, Mitchell, everybody was hurt at some point in 2024-25. So this is really the first fully healthy run the Cleveland Cavaliers have had in quite some time. You're making it to the Eastern Conference Finals. We love to see that. Already being battle tested, winning against the Raptors in 7, dominating Detroit on the road in Game 7. Again, that Pistons series, the Cavs were down 0-2 as well. I'm not counting the Cleveland Cavaliers out. I think the fact that the New York Knicks had to do this to win Game 1, 44-11 run, I'm not sure if that's ever happening again. But, oh my goodness, this is embarrassing. James Harden, there's very few players that I think we say your legacy is on the line in this series because they're too young, their legacies are still being written, or their legacies are already solidified. But James Harden, I'm unsure what you contribute to teams sometimes in the NBA playoffs. 188 playoff games. In 48 of those games, he has had more turnovers than made field goals. That is 25.5% of his games. Abysmal shooting splits tonight, only 15 points, 6 turnovers. I'm very confused what you do. I know what you do. We know you're uno. We know you're one of the greatest shooting guards ever, but you keep getting put in these conversations. Yes, you're one of the greatest scorers ever. Yes, you're the greatest isolation scorer ever. Yes, you're probably the greatest combo guard ever when it comes to facilitating, playmaking, and scoring. Absolutely. But then you get to the playoffs and you do stuff like this. I'm so confused. The lack of intensity, even in the game 7 against Detroit where everybody was frying, Harden did not have a good stat line. And James Harden, at some point, the competition is going to get better, and you can't scam your way to an NBA Finals with these 12, 4, and 3 stat lines. You can't do it. At some point, James Harden has to be James Harden. You said, what noise? You have not had a good game since that. You need to remember who you are. Going to Donovan Mitchell. Again, Mitchell's going to show up. He's going to do his thing, but I'm looking in the mirror asking James Harden, where are you when the team needs you? You've done it in the regular season, even with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I need you to do it in order to get the Cavs to the finals because they need you to be the guy when it matters the most. Going back to Donovan Mitchell, great game from him. Obviously did not get a field goal after around the 6-minute mark of the fourth quarter. That was just defensive intensity. New York switched to a zone. Also, I feel like Cleveland went away from the bigs. I'm not sure why they did that exactly, but the big switch that happened was James Harden was leading the offense for the Cleveland Cavaliers in the clutch. I understand that's why you have him. So Donovan Mitchell, when he's doubled, doesn't have to worry about making those tougher plays as a facilitator because Harden in general is a better facilitator than Donovan Mitchell. But tonight that was not the case. When James Harden was leading the offense in that fourth quarter and he was getting fried on defense, he lost his confidence. He lost his ability to make shots. I will give him credit for the shot that gave the lead to the Cavs, 101-99. Tough jump shot, but still, I'm just a little confused. What exactly went wrong with the Cleveland Cavaliers? I'm not going to panic. I had Cavs in 7. We have Cavs in 7 collectively on this podcast winning the series. I still think the Cleveland Cavaliers, with guys like Sam Merrill, Max Strus, the off-ball movement, the switchability, the double big lineup, the bigs that are just way more offensively gifted than Cat and Mitchell Robinson as a big duo, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, premier big front court in the league. I'm not going to panic, but this is a terrible, 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 terrible loss if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers. Even if the New York Knicks win game 2, the series does not start until a road team wins, and I think the Cavs are still going to find a way to rattle off 2 games at home. But man, Adam Silver, I got to give you credit. This is one of the greatest conference final scripts I've seen in a long time, and we still have the Spurs and Thunder game 2 coming up soon as well. Absolute cinema. With that being said, though, guys, that is going to do it for us today. Again, as always, if you enjoyed the content, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow all of these socials in the description wherever you get your hoops content: X, Twitter, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, Spotify, YouTube, obviously where you're watching this video. Again, as always, if you enjoyed the content, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we will see you all in the next one.